Have you ever found yourself sitting quietly, maybe with a warm cup of tea in hand, looking out the window, and wondering, how much time do I really have left? It's a question that becomes more real after age 70, not in a fearful way, but in a thoughtful one. You start to reflect on what matters, not just how many years remain on the calendar, but how good those years will be. Will you still be active? Will your mind stay sharp? Will you feel joyful, connected, and truly alive? The truth is, none of us can see the future. But what if I told you that there are signs, real, scientifically studied signs, that can give you a clearer idea of how your body is aging, and more importantly, what you can do about it? These signs are not guesses. They are not theories. They are backed by decades of research, and they show us something powerful. You still have control over your health, your energy, and your future. So today, I want to walk with you through 9 quiet but important indicators. These clues can reveal not only how long you might live after 70, but how well you can live. And even more important than that, I'll show you how to use each one step by step to take small, practical actions that can add more life to your years. You might be surprised. You might even feel hopeful. Because the truth is, it is never too late to make a change. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's begin this journey together. Sign number 1, walking speed. Let's begin with something simple, something you probably do every single day, even if only from the bedroom to the kitchen. Your walking speed. Now, I know that might sound almost too basic, but how fast or how slowly you walk can actually be one of the most powerful indicators of how your body is aging. Scientists at the University of Pittsburgh studied more than 34,000 older adults. What they found was truly eye-opening. People who walked just a little faster, around 2.5 feet per second, were significantly more likely to live longer over the next 10 years. But this is not just about being fast. It is about what walking speed says about your heart, your lungs, your muscles, and even your brain. Walking uses your entire body. When your body moves smoothly and confidently, it is often a sign that everything under the surface is working well. Let me paint a picture. Imagine 2 neighbors, Mary and Susan. Both are 70 years old. Mary takes a morning walk around her neighborhood each day. Nothing extreme, just a gentle stroll with a bit of purpose. She waves to neighbors, listens to the birds, and keeps moving. Susan, on the other hand, tends to stay inside. Her knees ache. She gets tired quickly. So, most days, she tells herself, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow keeps slipping by. Now fast forward 10 years. Mary is still moving, still engaged. Her energy is not what it once was, but it's there. Susan, sadly, has grown weaker. Her world has gotten smaller. This is not about comparison. It is about choices. And the good news is, it is never too late to start walking a little more. If your pace is slow today, that is okay. What matters is that you begin. Start small. Walk around your home, down the driveway, around the block if you can. Try it each day. A little bit faster, a little bit longer. Over time, your strength grows. Your heart thanks you. Your joints move more freely. Your mind feels clearer. Think of walking as a quiet daily checkup. A way your body lets you know, I'm still here, I'm still able. Because each step is not just a movement, it is a message to your future self. A message that says, I want to be here, and I am doing something about it. Sign number 2, grip strength. Let's talk about something most people do not think about until they start to lose it, your grip strength. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Does it really matter how hard I can squeeze something? Actually, yes. It matters more than you might imagine. grip strength is more than just a handshake or how well you open a pickle jar. It's a powerful signal of your overall muscle health, and surprisingly, your heart health too. A major study published in The Lancet, one of the world's top medical journals, found that grip strength could predict life expectancy even better than blood pressure. Think about that for a moment. The strength in your hands, something you use every day without even noticing, might be telling a deeper story about how strong your entire body is and how well your heart is functioning. I remember the first time I tested my grip using a little device called a hand dynamometer. It looked simple, like something you'd find at a doctor's office, but when I squeezed it, I realized just how much effort it actually took. It was a wake-up call. I had not been paying attention to my muscle strength at all. But here's the hopeful part. You do not need fancy equipment or hours at the gym to improve your grip. Little changes can go a long way. Start with something simple. Squeeze a small rubber ball for a few minutes each day. Use light resistance bands to stretch and strengthen your hands and wrists. Even opening tight lids, doing light chores, or carrying groceries can help you build strength over time. The best part? When your grip improves, so does your confidence. You feel more capable, more in control. You start noticing how your hands serve you. When turning a doorknob, brushing your teeth, or holding a loved one's hand. So the next time you reach for something, ask yourself, how strong do I feel today? And remember, improving your grip is not about showing off. It is about holding on to your health, your independence, and your ability to live life fully. Sign number 3, social connections. Let me ask you something personal. When was the last time you laughed, really laughed, with someone who knows you well? Or the last time someone looked you in the eye and said, "I'm glad you're here"? As we grow older, it's easy for our world to slowly grow smaller. Friends move away. Family gets busy. We tell ourselves we're fine being alone. But something starts to feel missing. And that something is not just about emotion. It's about health, real, physical health. A study from Brigham Young University found that social isolation increases the risk of early death by up to 50%. That is as serious as smoking or obesity. Loneliness, over time, becomes more than a feeling. It becomes a risk factor. You may not feel lonely every day, but you might feel less connected, less included. And if you do, please know you are not alone in that feeling. Many people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond quietly struggle with this. But here's the beautiful truth. Connection is something you can rebuild even now, even if it's been a while. Start small. Call a grandchild. Write a letter to a friend. Say hello to your neighbor. You don't have to be the life of the party. You just have to show up. You could also join a local group, a walking club, a church circle, or even a class at the library. And if that feels too big, just invite one person to have coffee. That's enough. I started volunteering at a community kitchen a while back, not because I had to, but because I wanted to feel useful again. And something amazing happened. I made new friends. I laughed more. I felt part of something. You might be surprised by how good it feels to simply belong again. Social connection keeps your mind sharp. It lowers stress. It even protects your immune system. But more than anything, it reminds you that you still matter, that your presence has meaning, that your voice is still worth hearing. So today, if you're feeling a little distant, take just one step back towards someone. That step might lead to a longer, fuller, and more joyful life than you ever expected. Sign number 4, sleep quality. Let's talk about something we all need, but many of us struggle with as we age. Sleep. Not just any sleep. Restorative, peaceful, healing sleep. Because, as it turns out, how well you sleep may affect how long you live. The National Sleep Foundation has shown that people over 70 who get between 7 and 8 hours of good quality sleep each night are significantly less likely to suffer from chronic illness, cognitive decline, and even depression. But as we get older, sleep doesn't always come easy. Maybe your mind starts racing at night. Maybe you wake up too early. Or maybe your body just feels restless. I used to believe, if I can function on 5 hours, I'll be fine. But over time, I started noticing the difference. I felt foggy, irritable. I even had more aches and pains. Then I realized sleep is not optional. It's essential. It's when the brain clears toxins, the body repairs tissues, and the heart slows down to heal. So how do you improve your sleep? Start by building a simple bedtime routine. Try dimming the lights an hour before bed. Put down the phone. Maybe read a book or listen to soft music. Herbal tea helps. Also, be consistent. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. And if you snore heavily or wake up gasping, talk to your doctor. Conditions like sleep apnea are common, but treatable, and they make a huge difference in long-term health. Sleep is not a luxury. It is your body's repair shop, so honor it. When you sleep well, everything else, your mood, your memory, your strength, starts to fall into place. Sign number 5, waistline. Now let's talk about something many people try to ignore, your waistline. And no, I'm not talking about body image or fitting into old jeans. I'm talking about the real health risks that come with carrying too much weight around your middle. Studies from the Mayo Clinic show that a waist circumference greater than 40 inches for men and 35 inches for women is linked to higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, stroke, and even early death. Here's the thing. Your waistline tells the truth, even when the scale doesn't. You could have a normal weight, but if most of that weight sits around your belly, it could still be harming your health. But this is not about guilt. This is about awareness and small, steady changes. Start with food. Choose more fiber, oats, beans, leafy greens. Drink more water. Cut back on processed snacks and sugar-sweetened drinks. You don't need to give up everything. Just shift your choices little by little, and then move. Even short walks help. Stretching, light housework, chair yoga. The goal is not to lose weight fast. The goal is to feel lighter, stronger, more in control. Your waistline is not about appearance. It's about vitality, about reducing the pressure on your heart, lungs, and joints, about moving through life with more ease. So don't just measure it, listen to it. Your body is always speaking. Are you listening? Sign number 6, mental health. Now let's go deeper, inside the mind and heart, because how you feel emotionally has just as much impact on your longevity as any physical number. For a long time, I thought stress was just part of life. Worry about bills, family, health. But what I didn't realize was that chronic stress, anxiety, and depression slowly wear down the body too, raising inflammation, lowering immunity, and increasing the risk of serious illness. One of the longest studies ever done, conducted by Harvard University over 80 years, found that the people who lived the longest weren't the wealthiest or even the healthiest. They were the ones who maintained emotional stability, optimism, and meaningful relationships. In other words, a peaceful mind can lead to a longer life. So, what can you do? Start with presence. Breathe slowly. Feel the air come in and go out. Let yourself sit still without judging your thoughts. Try journaling, just a few sentences a day. It helps to clear the noise and name what you're feeling. Practice gratitude. Each night, write down one thing that brought you joy. A smile, a warm meal, a kind word. Gratitude changes the way your brain sees the world. And if you're struggling deeply, don't be afraid to talk to someone. Whether it's a therapist, a pastor, or a trusted friend, you do not have to carry it all alone. Your mind deserves care. Your emotions matter. And tending to your mental health is not a sign of weakness. It is one of the strongest, smartest investments you can make in your life. Sign number 7, balance and flexibility. Here's a question you may not have thought about lately. Can you stand on one foot for 10 seconds without holding onto anything? It might sound like a simple test, but it turns out your balance and flexibility are powerful indicators of your overall health and even your life expectancy. A study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that adults over the age of 50 who could not balance on one leg for 10 seconds were nearly twice as likely to die in the following 10 years compared to those who could. But why does balance matter so much? Because it reflects coordination, strength, and how well your brain and body are working together. As we age, we naturally lose flexibility, and falls become more common. And falls, unfortunately, are one of the leading causes of injury-related death in older adults. But there is good news. You can improve your balance at any age. You don't need special equipment. Just start by standing near a sturdy chair or countertop. Lift one foot off the ground for a few seconds. Then switch sides. You can also try gentle stretching. Tai Chi, yoga, even slow marching in place helps. I remember the first time I tried to balance with my eyes closed. It was harder than I thought. But after a few weeks of practice, I felt steadier, more confident. And that confidence carries over into everyday life. Walking upstairs, stepping into the shower, even bending down to pick something up. Balance gives you freedom. Flexibility keeps you independent. So do not wait for a fall to remind you. Start now. Move gently, stretch daily, and remind your body. We're not done yet. Sign number 8, diet. Now let's look at something that touches every part of your health, what you eat. It is easy to think of food as just fuel. But the truth is, food is medicine. Every bite you take sends a message to your body, either to heal or to harm. And the diet that continues to show powerful results, especially for older adults, is the Mediterranean diet. This way of eating is not about strict rules or counting calories. It's about real food, colorful vegetables, fruits, nuts, whole grains, fish, olive oil, and just a little red wine if you enjoy it. A major study published in the British Medical Journal found that people who followed a Mediterranean-style diet reduced their risk of death by 25%. That's not a trend. That's long-term health. But don't worry, you do not have to completely change your eating overnight. Start small. Add a handful of walnuts or almonds as a snack. Swap white bread for whole grain. Drizzle olive oil over steamed vegetables. Try grilled fish instead of fried meat once a week. One of my favorite changes? A simple bowl of fresh berries with plain yogurt. Delicious, nourishing, and incredibly good for your heart and brain. What you eat can sharpen your memory, protect your heart, reduce inflammation, and even improve your mood. So next time you look at your plate, ask yourself, is this bringing me life? Because food can do more than satisfy hunger. It can help you thrive. Sign number 9, purpose. Now we've come to the final sign. And in many ways, it may be the most powerful one of all. It's not something your doctor can measure. It won't show up on a lab report or a medical scan. But it quietly shapes how long and how well you live. Your sense of purpose. Purpose is your why. It's the reason you get up in the morning, the reason you keep moving forward, even when life feels uncertain or heavy. You might think, at my age, what purpose do I still have? But here's the truth. Purpose doesn't retire. It evolves, it matures, it deepens, and it's still alive in you. In one of the most compelling longevity studies to date, Researchers examined regions known as the Blue Zones, places like Okinawa in Japan, Sardinia in Italy, and Nicoya in Costa Rica. These are communities with the highest concentrations of people who live past the age of 100. Do you know what they all had in common? Yes, they ate well. They moved their bodies. They had close friendships. But more than anything else, they had a reason to wake up each day. In Japan, they even have a word for it, ikigai, which means a reason for being. And that reason didn't have to be something dramatic. For one person, it was tending a small garden. For another, caring for great-grandchildren. For someone else, it was sharing wisdom with younger neighbors over tea. Purpose is not about being productive in the way society defines it. It's about meaning. It's about feeling like your life still matters, because it does. I once sat down with a woman named Elaine. She was 82, widowed, lived alone. She told me that for a long time, after her husband passed, she felt invisible, like she had outlived her usefulness. Then one day, her neighbor knocked and asked if she could help with his little girl after school, just for a few afternoons a week. Elaine agreed. She didn't think much of it at first, but a few weeks later, she looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "That child gave me my purpose back. I didn't even know I had lost it until I felt it again." That's what purpose does. It brings you back to life. So if you're feeling lost, uncertain, or like your best years are behind you, please don't give up on the idea that something meaningful still waits for you. Because it does. Maybe it's volunteering at a shelter. Maybe it's writing your story for your family to treasure. Maybe it's simply being a steady voice of wisdom for someone younger who needs it. You don't need an audience. You just need intention. Take a few minutes today. Sit quietly. Ask yourself, what still lights a spark in me? What could I do with the time I have that brings meaning, not just to me, but to someone else? You may be surprised by what your heart tells you. And here's the beautiful thing. When you live with purpose, everything else starts to align. You feel more energized, your body responds better, your mind becomes clearer. Purpose gives you a reason to care for yourself, because there's something worth staying strong for. So, no matter your age, no matter your past, your life still has deep meaning. You are not done. You are needed. You are still here for a reason. And that reason? Only you can discover it. A life worth living. So now you've heard all 9 signs. Some of them may have surprised you. Some may have reminded you of things you already knew deep down. And maybe some felt a little too close to home. But here's the truth, my friend. These signs are not just about predicting the future. They are about shaping it. They are not there to scare you. They are there to wake something up inside you. Because no matter your age, your health, or your history, you still have time. You still have power. You still have choice. Each one of these signs, your walking speed, your grip, your sleep, your relationships, your mindset, every single one is something you can begin working on today. And you don't have to do everything at once. Maybe tomorrow, you take a longer walk. Maybe this week, you call a friend you've been missing. Maybe tonight, you go to bed a little earlier. Or take a few deep breaths before you turn off the light. Maybe you finally sit down and ask yourself, what do I still want from this life? Because longevity is not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And if you've made it this far in the video, that tells me something very important. You care. You're ready. You're not giving up on yourself. And I won't give up on you either. If this message meant something to you, I hope you'll pass it along to someone else, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor. You never know who needs to hear this today. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel, Wise Elders Insight, where we walk through life's later chapters together with wisdom, heart, and a little humor too. You are not alone on this journey. So, Tell me in the comments below, which of these signs are you going to work on first? Let's talk about it. Let's support each other, because this life, we're still in it, and it's still worth living fully. Take care of yourself, and until next time, keep walking forward with purpose.